na na, na 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 na. It's another 24, and I'm outside again. Thankful for life and the joy that it brings. Pray to God that today never ends. Holding a vibe with me friends, and we out here, sweet soca playing. With every hand now we fetting away. Don't give a damn what nobody say. You could be friend or enemy. Just keep on doing what you wanna do. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe. Just don't kill my. Could do whatever, I don't really care. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe. Just don't kill my. Cause we don't hear vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty moving like family. Vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty bad mind, keep your energy. Cause we don't hear vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty moving like family. Vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty bad mind, keep your energy. Yeah, cause when I out on the road, nothing can stop me, I don't want go home. The drinks got me in full beast mode. I beg the bartender for more, so please bad boy, keep your gun on your waist. The only shots in the drinks to my face, and I don't care what nobody say. You could be friend or enemy. Just keep on doing what you wanna do. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe. Just don't kill my. Could do whatever, I don't really care. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe. Just don't kill my. Cause we don't hear vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty moving like family. Vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty bad mind, keep your energy. Cause we don't hear vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty moving like family. Vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty bad mind, keep your energy.
Greetings, 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 and salutations, one and all.
Na 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 na.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the night shift to DJ Kevin Steele.
Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
I want to say welcome to the broadcast.
Inside again. Thankful for life and the joy.
It's Real Talk Night right here on the night shift to DJ Kevin Steele. Big up to everybody locked in.
The vibe with me friends, and we out here.
Those locked in on TuneIn Radio on the night shift to DJ Kevin Steele. Big ups to ya.
Hey, don't give a damn what nobody say. You could be friend or enemy. Just keep on doing.
Much love to the massive up there in New Jersey.
Kill my vibe. Please don't kill my.
Locked in on NIE Radio. Hanging out to New Jersey's finest, the motivator.
I don't really care. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe.
I was able to listen to those out of Long Island, New York.
Cause we don't hear vibes.
Locked in on Reggae Pulse Radio.
Like family. Vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty bad mind, keep
Yeah, man, you have to roll your tongue, roll your R with it, you know?
drinks, plenty moving like family. Vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty bad mind, keep your energy.
Much love, DJ Atomic Force and the crew.
Cause when I out on the road, nothing can stop me, I don't want go home.
Big ups to those who are locked in on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com.
For more, so please bad boy, keep your gun on.
Mr. Lindsay, how you doing, sir?
Take the drinks to my face, and I don't care what nobody say. You could be friend or enemy. Just keep on doing what you wanna do. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe. Just don't
I
kill
want to say a special blessing to those who are locked in on Facebook Live.
Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe. Just don't
Big ups to the Facebook Live, massive.
hear vibes. Shelly, drinks, plenty moving like family.
Big ups to those who are locked in on YouTube Live.
Plenty bad mind, keep your energy. Cause we don't hear vibes. Shelly, drinks, plenty moving.
Those on Zeno FM.
Vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty bad mind, keep your energy. Na 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 na.
Blessings to those on Clubhouse.
Na 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 na.
Those on YouTube Live.
Just keep on doing what
The massive right here at the home of the night shift to DJ Kevin Steele, kevinsteele.com.
you kill my vibe.
So glad to have you. Couldn't do it without you. You have my word. I wouldn't even try.
Whatever, I don't really care. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe.
Inviting you to call a friend, tell a friend, friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends, and your enemies too. Call up everybody. Cause you know the vibe always nice.
Na 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 na. Na 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 na. It's another 24, and I'm outside again. Thankful for life and the joy that it brings. me. Just keep on doing what you want.
Music from Talia kicking us off.
My vibes, my vibes, don't kill my.
A track called Don't Kill My Vibes.
My could do whatever, I don't really care.
Yeah man, you can do whatever you want to do. Leave my vibes alone.
My vibes, just don't kill mine. Cause we don't hear vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty moving like family. Vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty bad mind, give it energy. Cause we don't hear vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty moving like family. Vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty bad.
Now those of you that are locked in on Facebook Live,
Yeah, cause when you're on the road,
I'm gonna invite you right now to come on over to kevinstew.com.
full peace mode. I beg the bartender for more. So please, bad boy, keep your gun on your waist. The only shots in the drinks on my face.
Man, that's where you wanna be.
Nobody say you could be friend or enemy. Just keep on doing what you wanna do. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe. Just don't kill my. Could do whatever, I don't really care. Just don't kill my vibe.
Come on over and don't kill the vibes.
Just don't kill my. Cause we don't hear vibes. Shelly, drinks, plenty moving like family. Vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty bad mind, give it energy. Cause we don't hear vibes. Shelly, drinks, plenty moving like family. Vibes, Shelly,
I want to say thank you to my segment sponsors, Pulse Media Group and Being in a Moment is Press. Let's go ahead and give them a call. They take your videos, your photos, your streaming, your ads. You want to stream something live on a secure platform, whether yours or theirs? Check them out. Pulse Media Group, 754-999-1140.
it's another 24. And
Tell them Kevin Stew sent you.
thankful for life and the joy that it brings. Today, never.
Thank you to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands.
And we out here, sweet soca playing.
Althea is a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach counties.
Friend or enemy.
She comes to you,
On doing what you want.
bringing her table, her oils, and over 20 years massage therapy experience.
Don't kill my vibe. Just don't kill mine. Could do whatever, I don't really care. Just don't kill
Call her today,
my vibe.
954-655-9000.
Just don't
Schedule your appointment.
hear vibes. Shelly, drinks,
She only has one request, outside of paying her, that is.
vibes. Shelly, drinks,
And she's that you get off her table and go sleep somewhere else when she's done.
hear vibes. Shelly, drinks, plenty moving.
She's gotta go. She can't leave her table with you. It's called the Kevin Stew Club. I'm always falling asleep.
Yeah. Cause when I out on the road, nothing can stop me, I don't want go home. The drinks got me in full peace mode. I beg the bartender for more. So please, bad boy, keep your gun on your waist. The only shots in
Want to say thank you to the Global Base.
here what nobody say. You could be friend or enemy. Just keep on doing what you wanna do. Just don't kill
And there's no family like the Global Base family.
my vibe. Just don't kill my. Could do
At the Global Base,
I don't really care.
you get over 30 years experience in the music industry.
Just don't kill mine, cause we don't hear vibes. Shelly, drinks, plenty moving like family.
Yeah, that's quite a service right there.
Drink,
What a track record.
I give you energy, cause we don't hear vibes. Shelly, drinks, plenty moving like family. Vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty bad mind, give you energy.
They do event planning. They do event planning all over, from beginning to end. Marketing and promotions. You can get vocal training through the Global Base.
Just keep on,
Of course, there's promotions.
just don't kill my vibes. Please don't kill my vibes.
There's photography, digital distribution, recording. Yeah, music recording. They take care of that too. There's a whole slew of things you get at the Global Base. Even nourishment.
Just keep on doing what you wanna do. Just don't kill
Yeah man, go ahead and check them out at theglobalbase.com. That's D-A Global B-A-S-E. The Global Base. I want to say thank you to McNeil Trucking.
Just keep on doing.
With McNeil Trucking, your goods are in good hands. They are licensed and insured movers in the state of Florida.
Full peace mode. I
A veteran-owned business.
please, bad boy, keep your gun
So you want to move from the Keys up to Pensacola,
And I don't care what no
Naples over to Jacksonville,
just keep on doing what you wanna do. Just
Pompano to Palm Beach.
my vibes, don't kill my
You
vibe.
want to move to any point in between.
Could do whatever.
Put some things in storage. Don't worry if you don't have the transportation or the manpower, because you have the name and you have the number. Mike Neil Trucking, 954-406-9740. When you call them up, tell them Kevin Stew sent you. It's a real talk night. I don't even remember what night it is. All my days running into one. And tonight we're addressing social mindfulness. Do you consider yourself socially mindful? Do you even know what social mindfulness is? Hey Peaches, how you doing? As we get into the broadcast, I want to remind you the phone line is open, so you can actively participate in this broadcast. Phone number is scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now. 773-789-STEW. That's 773-789-7839. You can call, you can text, you can WhatsApp, you can Telegram. So you can get in touch from anywhere in the world. Of course, you can chit chat in any of the chat rooms available. One on YouTube. And of course, what we call the stew pot right here on kevinstew.com. Others call it a chat room. We call it the stew pot on kevinstew.com. It's where you keep things interactive and bubbling. How do you get there, you may ask? Easy. Just go to kevinstew.com. You don't need to register, offer your firstborn, an internal organ, or a blood sacrifice. Just go to kevinstew.com and you can be interactive. You can remain anonymous if you want to. You can give your name so I know who it is that I'm interacting with. Just asking that you keep it respectful and don't kill my vibe. Now, imagine this if you would wish, if you will, for a moment. Thank you, Talia. Music from Talia kicking us off. Track called Don't Kill My Vibe. Now, here's a situation. Two friends enter a cafe and decide to have something sweet with their coffee. As it turns out, the cafe has only 3 pieces of cake left. And there are 2 slices of lemon meringue, and 1 of carrot cake. If the first person who chooses wants to be nice, they would take the lemon meringue, so their friend still has different kinds of cake to choose from. Now, taking the carrot cake would in fact limit their friend's choice. So, what to do? This is an instance that calls for social mindfulness. Being socially mindful, then, is simply being mindful of others. It may sound like, well, that's typically what we're supposed to do anyway. But think about it. Is it really done that often? It involves a social mind, one that recognizes the needs and wishes that other people may have in the present moment. On a pardon the noise in the background, some people here going on with things. The kind of pro-social behavior we associate with social mindfulness requires that people both see what others may want and not only see it, but act accordingly. So it's a two-step process. If people don't take notice the option of being socially mindful, however, they are unlikely to act socially mindful beyond chance. But if they consistently show not to be mindful of others, in other words, by limiting the choice that another person may have, as an example, they may very well be socially hostile, which is really the flip side of social mindfulness. In all, social mindfulness or social hostility resides in the many small decisions we make in the majority of our daily social interactions. Things like simply choosing a piece of cake, which piece of cake to take. That could, just an action like that could be socially mindful. The so me paradigm, I kind of like that. So me, socially mindful paradigm that was developed and tested to measure social mindfulness builds on situations like the one that we use as a scenario, where the example is given of two people with a choice to make, between various products. And so it's a real thing. In research, social mindfulness has shown to be related to personality factors like honesty, humility, and agreeableness. But thanks to the focus on the demands of the present, the concept is also readily adaptable to the dynamic environment of interpersonal and intergroup relationships. So, I want you to take a moment right now and reflect on your day. As you navigated your day today, were you intentionally socially mindful? Is it something that happened by chance? Were you socially hostile? Did you race to get to the front of the line at the intersection? You're driving along, going about your way. Was that you? Did you cut someone off because you didn't like the way their vehicle looked and you just wanted to be in front of them? These little things. Was that person who you could see was visibly upset, did you do something that was unkind or less than generous, less than nice to that person? And you didn't care, or you unintentionally did something that was like that. What was it for you? Were you socially mindful or socially hostile today? Think about that as we go through the remainder of this broadcast. Now, with talking about being socially mindful, it leans towards pro-social behavior. And this is a subject that we had addressed on this broadcast before. And to quickly go over some pro-social behaviors, I pulled on some information from the helpfulprofessor.com. So, what are examples of pro-social behavior? Being empathetic is one. Empathy is the ability to understand the actions and feelings of another person. It can contain both emotional and cognitive components. There is volunteering. And of course, volunteering is the most obvious example of pro-social behavior. It involves an action that will help others, but does not directly benefit oneself. There is the action of sharing toys. Well, adults have toys too. Some of them you want to keep personal. But anyone that has children or works in a kindergarten would tell you that even very young children will display pro-social behavior. Now, do they know they're doing it? Is that something that is a part of their nature? And if so, is it because of what they have learned at home? And if it was something they learned at home, is it really nature or was it nurture? Things that make you go, never really thought about it, did you? Planting trees is a pro-social behavior. By now, we know about climate change. And just about anybody living in the southern United States can tell you that they're experiencing it. We have been having some amazingly hot days. You're talking about 2 straight weeks in triple digit indices. Crazy. Never happened before. And so planting trees and other wooden habitats anywhere around the world where where deforestation has happened, that's a pro-social behavior. And you might think, boy, I don't live in so many places. I don't live in areas that have forests that have been torn down. Well, you can still plant a tree. If you have a yard, you can plant a tree in the yard. And even that will make a difference. If you have the space. Helping the elderly. Now, it may seem kind of trite, but helping the elderly is a noble gesture. And if you're lucky enough, one day you will get old also. We're not all making it these days. And unfortunately, our bodies are just not as capable of as they once were. So climbing stairs or lifting objects, it can get difficult. And sometimes you just need a hand. Pro-social behavior is that individual that exhibits that awareness, that is willing to help. So they step up and they do just that. They help. Offering encouragement is a pro-social behavior. And it is one that may not directly benefit you, the individual offering the help, but could be very beneficial to the people around you. So just a word of encouragement. It's not going to kill you. It doesn't take anything out of you to give a word of encouragement. You might be familiar with the concept of paying it forward. So you're in line at the grocery store, you're in line at the fast food restaurant. You could pay for the person that is coming up behind you, pay for their item. I've seen where people have paid for other people's gas. I've done it before, where someone standing in line behind me had a couple of items. I said, I'll pay for that too. And guess what? It has been done to me. So that's a pro-social behavior. You hear that voice in the background? That's Nathaniel. He says kindness begets kindness. Now, believe it or not, pro-social behavior is not only limited to humans. Don't sleep on the animal kingdom. Humpback whales are pro-social animals. There are a number of cases on record of humpback whales protecting other species from orcas. Yeah, from killer whales. So it's not just in the human world that you find it. You find dolphins will do it also. There's a story of a man's dog falling off a boat in the water and a shark being nearby, and there were some dolphins. There's a pot of dolphins, and they protected the dog. these things are real. They happen. Pro-social behavior. Growing vegetables is a passion for some people. And it takes a lot of time and a lot of care. Planting, watering, trimming, checking soil pH levels. And at the end of the day, you have put your whole heart and soul into growing this thing. So now you have a little private crop. And taking some out of that and sharing it with a neighbor, sharing it with a friend, that's for pro-social behavior. If someone is moving and you can give a hand, lift a box here or there, lend your vehicle. If you have multiple vehicles and one of them is a pickup truck, and you can lend that to your friend who is moving, that's a pro-social behavior. Organ donation, believe it or not, is a pro-social behavior. And, some people would say, boy, I really don't care what happens to me after I'm gone. But the fact that you're putting it in place while you're still here, that's an intentional act. That's a pro-social behavior. You just thought you were being nice? Okay, cool. That's social mindfulness. A simpler version of pro-social behavior is simply to adhere to the social norms of your society or culture. Typically, we are raised to do this, and in a selfish sense, we need to do this in order to be accepted into society. Now, that can lead to social hostility also, because you're talking about, there are some cultures or some societies that feel that they should impose their way of living, their lifestyle on others. Now that becomes social hostility. So there's a fine line there. If it's a community of like-minded individuals and you have moved into that community and you are not of that mindset, you may feel pressured into becoming like those individuals around you. And so to you, they would be socially hostile. Here's the joke. To them, you are socially hostile. So it's again, it can be a little bit of a balancing act, but it can be done. Donating things to charities, Goodwill, Salvation Army, Food for the Poor, Faith Farm, wherever it is. Donating your old unwanted goods is a pro-social alternative to throwing the goods in the trash. And here's the thing. It doesn't have to be old in the sense that it's worn out and there's no more use that you can get out of it. It could be something that you've had for a very long time but just never used, and it's still brand new. Go ahead and donate it. From time to time you hear a campaign. You come across a campaign, whether radio or TV, in the newspaper, or a magazine, somewhere, about a local hospital being low on blood. Blood drives are necessary in situations that involve trauma. We saw where COVID rolled around and there was a need for blood. And it was a kind of a weird time. But it happens. And so blood drives and giving blood is a pro-social behavior. And for those of you that saw my post on social media, you'd have seen where I used a team, a football team, a soccer team, for those in the US. A football team, youngsters, and there was a referee, tying the lace of one of the players. It is because team sports is one of those things that help young people to be pro-social. So if your children are not involved in team activities, try to get them involved, because this is one way that they can learn pro-social behavior. The simple act of passing a ball to a teammate. You want to take a moment of glory. You want to score that goal, but your teammate is in a better position to do it than you. And you give them that ball, they get the goal. The team now ends up becoming a little bit more successful than just the one individual. The team has benefited from your selfless act. That is pro-social behavior. So, all that to say this. Little things that we do on a day-to-day basis are indicators of being socially mindful. And depending on how you go about it, you could be mindful, you could be hostile. What we're going to do right now is take a quick little break. When we come back, we're going to talk some more, of course. But we're going to take a quick little break. And as we go off on the break, there's an event coming up this Saturday. We have we have 2 days left for the main event. I call it the main event. It is Ernest Smith live in concert in Fort Lauderdale. Well, Hollywood, to be exact. So you have 2 more days to get your tickets. Tomorrow and during the day on Friday. It's an intimate occasion with the legendary Ernest Smith, and some of you might know his music as soon as you hear his name. But if you don't know the name, you might know the song "Duppy Gunman." It must be a duppy or a gunman. I grew up on that song, laughing my head off. Yes, my head, and other big hits, Pitter Patter, Ernest Smith. And so there'll be a nice intimate occasion down at Ginger Bay Cafe in Hollywood. And it's $20 in advance, $25 at the door, and you can get tickets on Eventbrite. G. Cole will be the MC for the evening. Grassfire Band, which is a house band, will be on duty. DJ Mikey Mike will be playing some music. So come on out. It is guaranteed to be an awesome event. Check it out. If you haven't done so already, you can also, I'm inviting you to get your copy of the audiobook, Empowered: Essential Concepts and Strategies Every Woman Should Know About Self-Defense. It was narrated by Jonathan Field. It was authored by Jonathan Field and narrated by yours truly, Kevin Stew. It is available to you on Audible right now. If you go to kevinstew.com, there's an image of the book cover. Just click on it. It's a link that takes you to exactly where you need to be to download your copy of the audiobook, Empowered: Essential Concepts and Strategies Every Woman Should Know About Self-Defense. It's an awesome read. I learned a lot as I narrated it. You will learn something too. Not because of it targeting or being marketed to women mean that it's only for women. Okay? Everybody gets to learn something from this. And the challenge goes on. The $783.90 challenge goes on. It is where you save in increments of $10. January we started with $10. February we increased it at $10 to $20 because it was the second month, and so on. So this month you should be putting away $70. In addition to the $60 from last month, the $50 from the month before, the $40 from April. You get the idea, right? Ultimately, at the end of the year, if you continue with this trend, you would have saved $780. When was the last time you saved $780 intentionally? This is a way to do so. And that enables you to, I don't know, get things for Christmas or kickstart your new year for 2024. So get on board. It's the 780 390 challenge. You wonder where the 390 comes from. It is saving in $5 increments, doing half of that. If you can't manage the 10, you do the 5. And so you end up with 390. The objective here is to be intentional about it and to save towards this goal. So get on board. Even if you haven't done so yet, you can still catch up. Just try. That's all we ask, that you try.
Is your church, business, or private event at risk of being left behind? Then let Pulse eMedia Group be your one-stop shop to capture your vision and mission for your business or showcase your church through live streaming. Celebrate your memories through photos and videos for your wedding, youth concerts, women's ministries, and men's outreach programs in action. We will even help you develop specialized ads to enhance and expand your opportunities to reach new clients and new seekers to better serve your community. At Pulse eMedia Group, it's not either or. Call us at 754-999-1140. Pulse eMedia Group.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school,
In math,
I learned that I'm ugly and useless. And in gym,
In biology,
I learned that I'm pathetic
that I'm fat
and a
and
joke.
stupid.
In history,
Today in
I learned that
school,
I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick.
And in
And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell.
and a joke.
In chemistry, I learned that no one
In
likes me.
biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid.
In English,
And in
I learned
math,
that I make people
I
sick.
learned that I'm trash.
The only thing I didn't learn in school today
The only thing I didn't learn today.
The only thing I didn't learn
Is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Ladies, lovers of the music, it is here, the brand spanking new album from Ed Robinson and Ian Sweetness, a tribute to Teddy Pendergrass. Amazing. 10 blazing tracks, 2 amazing singers going hit for hit, classic for classic. A tribute to Teddy Pendergrass, Ian Sweetness, Ed Robinson. Oh man. It's out now. Available everywhere. iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your music, it is there. A tribute to Teddy Pendergrass, brand spanking new, Ian Sweetness, and Robinson. Ladies, gentlemen, you've got to have this in your collection. Get it now. Available everywhere. Bruv, my last baby already gone off to college, mate. Is what this is send come gimme, man. Is a big album still, I love it. Big up Ed Robinson, Ian Sweetness, but this better come with a contraceptive.
Hey, I'm representing for DJ Kevin Stew, working on the night shift radio show. Won't go changing like the weather, just to please the devil never. Will DJ Kevin Stew sell his soul? That's a word and honor. It's Christine representing Word and Honor. Selassie DJ Kevin Stew.
Oh, baby. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. All alone, feeling blue, with nothing to do. I decided to go somewhere or try something new. Feeling down and lonely, so I took a ride to the movies, and as fate would have it, you were there. You came and sat beside me, then you turned around and the smile you gave me certainly broke the ice, drove away my fear, like strangers in paradise, lost in each other. No way to recognize we were strangers together, like Romeo and Juliet, meant for each other. No way to ever guess we were strangers
Na na na, na 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 na. I felt as if I was dating you a long time ago. But contrary, we never been this close before. The way you looked at me was a look of sincerity, so I listened attentively to you. Oh baby, you told me your life story, all your secrets confiding me. And that's when I realized how much you care. Like strangers in paradise, lost in each other. No way to recognize we were strangers together. Like Romeo and Juliet, meant for each other. No way to ever guess. Strangers together, no way. Na 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 no. No way. Na 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 na. All alone, feeling blue, with nothing to do. I decided to go somewhere or try something new. Feeling down and lonely, so I took a ride to the movie. And as fate would have it, you were there. Oh baby, you came and sat beside me. Then you turned around and the smile you gave me certainly broke the ice and drove away my fear. Like strangers in paradise, lost in each other. No way to recognize we were strangers together.
Music from Hopeton, and they'll bring us back from the break.
And Juliet,
Track is called Strangers in Paradise.
no
I'm gonna say blessed Earth Day to Hopeton.
strangers together. No.
Yeah man, the pen himself celebrating another trip around the sun.
Like strangers in paradise.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Those of you just joining us, welcome to the broadcast. It is Real Talk Night right here on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. And tonight we're talking about social mindfulness. Are you socially mindful? Are you mindful at all? Whether social or not. The question is asked on granicus.com. Is it really a hostile community, or is it a community reacting with hostility? We think about what is going on right now in Russia and the Ukraine, them being at war. Is it a hostile community, or is it individuals reacting with hostility? Well, it's definitely a hostile environment altogether, because shots are fired, bombs are dropped, buildings are demolished, roadways, infrastructure. All this is happening, and it's happening in real time. So, yeah, it doesn't make for a lot of pleasantries. In the context of community engagement, we're sometimes asked how to deal with hostile communities. As with so many things, prevention is better than cure. It is unlikely that the community was hostile before the issue was imposed on them. Rather, the community, or at least some members of it, are reacting with hostility. So, what then is meant by hostility, and are communities becoming more likely to react hostilely? Well, I know that right now with this heat wave affecting the majority of the southern United States, in fact, from California stretching all the way across to here in South Florida, is this amazing heat pocket. And so here you have this happening, and it makes for uncomfortable situations, and it makes for short fuses. So is it that all of the southern states of the United States right now would be considered a hostile environment because people have short fuses, because they're frustrated, they're hot, they're miserable? Or is it that the situation has made them uncomfortable? The most common components of hostility are cynicism and mistrust. Reciprocity is also a feature of hostility. Believe it or not, I didn't even know this. Which can result in escalating conflict, both in how people communicate and how we behave. Hostility is cognitive. What does that mean? Well, it's about what we think rather than what we feel or how we behave. So the anger, the feeling of being angry and how we behave, that negative action. Of course, it's behavior that is most visible and has the most impact on other people. Hostility can be contagious across a community when people share information infused with cynicism and mistrust, resulting in escalating anger and negative behaviors. Think back to January 6th. Yeah, the famous January 6th insurrection, the attack on the White House in the United States. This is exactly what happened. Now, even before the pandemic, a Gallup poll found that people in the US were experiencing increasing levels of stress, worry, and anger. Anger can be contagious in what psychotherapist Alan Balick calls an anger bandwagon effect. Everybody jumping on the angry bandwagon. Someone expresses it, and this drives someone else to express it as well. So they're getting on the angry train. We can't leave social media out of the discussion, as it is such an easy and instantaneous way to share both information and anger. Anger is a stimulant, and like any stimulant, can be addictive. So people look for reasons to be angry. We go online and down rabbit holes, getting angry about things happening in places we've never heard of. And it's happening to people that we've never met. And what happens? We get angry also. As community engagement professionals, with the analytical tools that we have access to, we can see that the reach of project information often goes far beyond our target audience. The writer here says, I once worked on a project in Australia where we received formal submissions from as far as Canada, from Australia, from down under. And this wasn't because people in Canada were impacted, but because local residents shared the project through social networks along with a call to action to object. So how do we handle anger and hostility? Well, at best, we can apologize and start again. Boy, apologies are, I don't know, people still do that these days? Or genuinely, maybe I should ask that, do people genuinely apologize? Or do they do it just because it sounds like the thing to do? Attempting to rebuild trust and reach the planned outcomes of a particular project or an objective, that is how you can do it. Just stop, apologize, and start over. At worst, the community becomes divided. Hostility overcoming basic neighborhood decency and destroying relationships within the community as well as with us. Try prevention first and then response. You would be familiar with the importance of thorough stakeholder analysis and may already undertake risk and opportunity assessment as part of your engagement planning. Now, some are more mindful of it than others. Some people do it just because they have learned that through their previous experience, it's something to take into consideration. But typically, a community engagement risk assessment should follow the organization's overreaching approach to risk assessment. This is likely to include elements such as danger to people and property, financial and reputational risks, and traditional time and budget project delivery risks. There's also the option of taking a positive slant, looking not just at risks, but also identifying opportunities for the project and engagement. You can then develop strategies to leverage those opportunities to maximize positive outcomes of the project while simultaneously mitigating the risk. There are 2 further steps that one could take to bolster traditional engagement planning to reduce the risk of a hostile reception. There is a social impact analysis and outrage assessment. Now, using a participatory social research approach, often employed in development contexts, the social impact analysis, the SIA, can identify deeper, richer information about the community than a traditional stakeholder analysis. SIA includes the understanding that social, economic, and biophysical impacts are inherently and inextricably interconnected. You can't have one without the other. It's like love and marriage, according to the song. Anyway. Now, this lens, looking at through these eyes, this helps us to view the community multidimensionally and to consider impacts that are intended and unintended, positive and negative, short-term and residual, extending from and devoting dovetailing with thorough stakeholder and risk analysis. A rigorous SIA will open up more and more meaningful opportunities to mitigate potential negative impacts and leverage potential positive impacts. So you want to be intentional. Now, undertaking an outrage assessment will inform each of the above elements of strategic engagement planning. Peter Sandman is best known in community engagement circles for his expertise in responding to outrage. But his 12 components of outrage are also an excellent tool for assessing the potential for outrage. Where that potential is found to be high, invest more in engaging early and sensitively. So you recognize that there's a potential for things to get out of hand and get out of hand possibly quickly. You want to address that. Take it on, address it before it happens, so that when it starts happening, you're already ahead of it. Those components of outrage that you can assess on a sliding scale between each of the absolutes are voluntary and coerced, natural and industrial, familiar and exotic, memorable and not memorable, not dreaded and dreaded, chronic, as in slow moving, and catastrophic, as in sudden. Knowable and not knowable. Controlled by self and controlled by others. Fair and unfair. Morally irrelevant and the morally relevant. Coming from a trustworthy source or proponent versus an untrustworthy one. Responsive process versus unresponsive process. Now, can you remember the first time you used the term outrage with, say, a project manager or other non-engagement professional? You know, even at work, at school. Did they think you were joking around, maybe? Right here it says, I clearly remember sitting down to discuss potential engagement strategies around changing the source of a community's drinking water. The project manager laughed when I suggested we do an outreach assessment. He thought I was exaggerating. We were talking about the water coming from a different catchment. It would taste and smell different. As we went through Sandman's components of outrage in the context of a parent running a bath for a baby or an elderly person filling a jug for a cup, my colleague stopped laughing and then agreed to invest some time and effort into upfront engagement. Because now it became obvious that there are these contributing factors that can lead to people being upset. Now, you kind of have to wonder, as you go through your day, with things happening locally where you live, do you think the powers that be engage in outrage analysis? Or do they just do because they want to? And here you have that paradigm again, that feeling coming into play. And when you feel that the individuals that make the decisions are doing it for their own benefit, and your experience is leaving you holding the short end of the stick, then that would lead to anger, which then boils up and snowballs into outrage, which is contagious. And so you have a group of individuals who are similarly affected now becoming outraged. Now you have a community that is being labeled as a volatile community, a hostile community, when all along it's just individuals reacting in a hostile manner. Simple things, big differences. We're going to take another break. We'll be right back after these few messages. Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com. Your links to worship and praise.
Making great music is one thing, sharing it with the world, that's another. Let the professionals at Reggae Global Entertainment help you to another level. Specializing in artist management, booking, public relations and marketing, and promotion, Reggae Global Entertainment can help you with event planning, websites, photography, and video production, press releases, legal services, and graphic design. They can even help you with music production, so you can get the sound that you want every time. Call Reggae Global Entertainment at 954-804-8199. That's 804-8199. Or visit them online at reggaeglobalentertainment.com.
MRE Entertainment, in association with VPAL Distribution, presents the brand new hit single.
Hi, I'm Robert French, and you're listening to my new song, Every Day of My Life.
Now available on all major digital platforms.
Every day of my life will be just loving you. Spend the rest of my life always and just loving you. Every day of my life will be just loving you. Spend the rest of my life always and just loving you.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulsemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
Hey yo, this is Caraman to let you know that right about now you are logged on to DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift. Don't move.
Circumstances, I'm gonna take my chances.
Music from Suzanne Sultry bringing us back from the break. The track is called Stand By You. I want to say blessed Earth Day also to Suzanne Sultry. Looking forward to hearing her on stage for the Jamaica Independence Celebration coming up August 6th down at Lauderhill Performing Arts Center. Yeah, it's an outdoor event. Yeah, that should be fun. Once again, the phone line is open, 773-789-STEW. That's 773-789-7839. Call, text, WhatsApp, Telegram from anywhere in the world. Gets you live and in living color right here on the night shift of DJ Kevin Stew. And like I said, we're talking about social mindfulness. Are you socially mindful? How socially mindful are you? Can you measure it? I don't know. Are there any benefits to being socially mindful? I'm pretty sure there are. Tons. In most recipes for lending healthy and happy lives, according to Psychology Today, the center stage is reserved for our close relationships. Often, however, it's the moments of connection with complete strangers that add distinct sweetness to our days. You know, that one thing that is just right. That one thing that happened that far supersedes anything else that happened. Someone helping us look for our lost keys. Someone offering us a sincere compliment. Someone not buying the last apple cake in case we wanted it just a little bit more. And or maybe just because we wanted it and they had options. Simple things like that make a big difference. The flavor of active pro-sociality, being considerate of others and their needs before making decisions, is referred to as social mindfulness. Like with Emerson's image of happiness as the perfume whose droplets inevitably spill on the person who pours it out onto others, the rewards of kindness are all embracing. Doing good nourishes the well-being of the givers, the receivers, and even the witnesses. As Danusha Lameris considers in her poem, Small Kindnesses, perhaps these socially mindful exchanges that we have with each other are even more important than we actually realize. What if they are the true dwelling of the holy? These fleeting temples we make together when we say, "Here, have my seat. Go ahead, you first. I like your hat." As it's an excerpt from the poem. Psychologist Paul Van Lange has been investigating social mindfulness for over a decade. His research has yielded fascinating insights. For example, people in Japan are among the most socially mindful in the world. Despite its unwholesome nature, gossip can serve as protective function for groups. And kindness is a key that opens a myriad of possibilities. When we're sitting in our comfortable apartments, it can be tempting for us to stay there. But by simply going outside, we are stepping into a world of opportunity to experience connection. And here's what Dr. Van Lange on human connection. This is what he has to say. And it was a little bit of an exchange. So the question is asked, why is connection so essential for our well-being? He says, simply put, we need each other for survival and reproduction. The next broadest motive for human connection is to satisfy our universal psychological need for relatedness. We experience a sense of belonging, and thus we don't feel like we're alone. Even the smallest forms of human connection, like the exchange of genuine smiles between people, can impact our well-being. Can you imagine a simple smile between strangers? How much that can change what you're experiencing at that time. As an example, he says, when I'm traveling, there are days when my only interaction is with the people in coffee shops who sell me coffee. I make an intentional point to connect with them by asking a question or making a comment. Initiating a conversation takes a combination of kindness and curiosity. It's a well-intended and natural way of showing interest in another person. Connection begins before we say anything, perhaps through a smile, extended eye contact, or an attitude of openness that you share with the other person. When I return to the coffee shop the next day, the people recognize me and greet me with a smile. And research shows that these seemingly small tokens of connection matter more than we actually imagine. They can give us a temporary boost in happiness. I call these benefits of sociality vitamin S. Yeah, that's vitamin sociality. Not the vitamin S that Beenie Man sings about. Is there an optimal dose of vitamin S that we need to maintain our well-being? Was the next question that was posed to him. And his response was, the right dosage of vitamin S will be different for each of us. I have a hypothesis that conversations not only positively affect the quality of our lives, but also our life expectancy. The exchange of energy between interlocutors help to keep us mentally young. Our emotional and cognitive systems become active, not only as speakers, but also as listeners. It's a form of brain training. But the art of conversation is a mentally straining activity. As we converse, we are processing a wealth of information while attending to our reputational concerns. Thus, even the most enjoyable conversations can take a toll after a while. And ultimately, we must discern for ourselves how much vitamin S is optimal for our content needs, our current needs. When it comes to connection, however, I believe that lack is more detrimental than excess. He says, having too much vitamin S can be easily regulated by taking some time alone to recharge our social batteries. But since the telltale signs of having too little vitamin S are more subtle, my recommendation is to have at least some kind of interaction every day. So, the socially aloof, the hermits, the lone rangers among us would potentially have it a little bit more difficult than those of us who are relatively interacting with, or regularly, I should say, interacting with others. You know, simply giving a smile, a hi, a fist bump. The question is asked, why are we sometimes able to form deep connections with strangers we just met? And funny enough, one of the reasons I ended up starting Real Talk was that very question. How is it that we can sometimes tell our whole life stories to perfect strangers? Why is it that sometimes we choose to have these individuals as the ones that we want to interact with versus those that we know for a very long time? One of the most significant immaterial concerns that people have is their reputation. Van Lange is responding to the question. Interestingly, our wish to protect our reputation can help us form connections with strangers. Let's say you meet somebody on a plane and have a surprisingly deep conversation. The reason why we sometimes form heartfelt connections with strangers is not only because we decide that for whatever reason we like the person next to us, despite knowing very little about them, but also because there is an inbuilt trust between us. We know that this person cannot talk to others we may know. You see how that works? Thus, we might feel safe to share personal information with each other because it won't affect our reputation with the people in our lives. They don't know them, they won't talk to them. So our secret is safe with them. Unless it turns out that they do know someone that you know. Then, all bets are off. But you'd think that the mere fact that you spoke with them on such an intimate level, they would probably keep it to themselves. Furthermore, with a stranger, we usually don't have strong differences in power or status, which we might experience with our closer ties. This trust, self-disclosure, and lack of conflict of interest, in turn, can facilitate genuine connections with other human beings, even if we just happen to have met them. And I can tell you, I've had some deep conversations with some people that I've never met before and never saw again. Somehow people just like telling me things. But it is what we sometimes need. That non-judgmental ear. And that's the other part of it. That stranger, even if they judge you, you don't care. You probably won't ever see them again. So it's just getting feedback from a neutral party. That's what that turns out to be. The question is posed, what corrodes human connection and what helps it to flourish? This one is one that we probably need to pay attention to and can help us to figure out what is going on with Russia and Ukraine and any other conflicting elements. Thoughtfulness, benevolence, not being too self-focused, curiosity, honesty. These are facilitators of human connection. On the other hand, any violation of trust, as well as ill-willed insults that intentionally degrade the other person, harm relations. As simple as that. Be nice, and everything will be fine. In a given interaction, next question. What informs our impression of others? How do we decide whether or not to like and trust someone? Research on social perception shows that there are a few fundamental dimensions on which we base our judgments of others. The first thing we look at is the dimension of warmth. Warmth includes the intentions the person has toward us, how open they are with us, how much they appreciate us. It has a heart-driven quality to it. The second social dimension is integrity. This is a morally morality-driven dimension and includes considerations such as how honest is the person? How well do they adhere to rules of interpersonal conduct? How principled are they about not harming anyone? The third dimension is competence, which is often linked to a person's relative status and their ability to achieve their intentions. If we deem someone to be high on competence, we can trust them to get things done. All of these evaluations occur during the first few seconds of an interaction. Just like in the first few seconds of meeting someone, you can determine whether or not you love them. Crazy, right? Yeah. It's a very similar thing here. Humans are particularly skilled at picking up signals of warmth very quickly. And so when we interact with each other, when we come into the presence of another person, we have that third eye, that sixth sense that tells us that this person can hang. This person is someone that we can have around us. This person we should probably stay away from. This person we can speak with, but keep them at arm's length. All of these things you pick up in just a matter of moments. And so, with being intentional about how we interact with each other, with each other, getting tongue-tied, this now can put us in a better place to have better relationships. And I'm not saying that you're gonna go out tomorrow and or even right now and immediately be so warm and fuzzy towards everyone that you meet. Though that would be nice, the reality is that's not how it goes. We don't gel with everyone. Not all personality types mesh. And in recognizing that, you are mindful that it is okay. Just be socially mindful. Be considerate of the other person. You don't have to want to be their everything. You don't have to try to be their everything. Just be nice. Be that one thing. Just nice. And so it avoids one more bit of conflict. Because goodness knows we have enough. There's enough going on around us. You have Crips versus the Bloods, Russia versus the Ukraine, US versus China. It goes on and on. Army versus Navy. East versus West. Whatever it is. Democrats versus Republicans. It's coming up to election time. Just being nice. Having a common goal. If the common goal is that we navigate this space called Earth, and we enjoy this little thing called life, for whatever period it is that we're given to live it, we have that common goal to enjoy it. So if we all have that basic goal, why it is that we would have conflict? Make that make sense. Because we all have the same objective. We're all trying to get to that same goal where we are happy. At what point does it become, I am happy at your expense? At what point does it become, I get to step on you to ensure my happiness? And so, this is where, for me, being mindful comes in. And as such, social mindfulness. Because we spend so much time now on social media that we are interacting with individuals that we have never met, will probably never meet. And that interaction stays. Why? Because whatever it is that you do on social media, that's recorded. That's a stamp on time. And sometimes it gets replayed. Depending on when an individual would pass your way, pass by your profile, pass by your post. I have people interacting or reacting to something I had done 2 years ago. And so the for them, it's a very new experience. For me, I don't even remember having that experience. But it's an opportunity still, and it remains. So whatever it is that you do on social media today, understand that it will remain. And if you're being nice to someone on social media, other people will recognize it, and other people will enjoy that moment of niceness. Raul Blaze, social media comedian and fitness trainer, says Jamaicans typically describe something they like with one word: nice. And everything is just nice. But that's a nice shirt. But the food tastes nice. How was your flight? Well, it was nice. And so we want to have this nice time. Because long time we don't have the nice time, It's hot outside and people are uncomfortable, and the AC might break down, or you might have to take the bus to go somewhere, and it's hot and it's humid and it's miserable. But then someone says, hey, you have a nice smile. And all of a sudden, the sun is not that hot anymore. All of a sudden, the wait for the bus wasn't that long. The time spent behind that person driving slow because there's a problem with their car is not that long. The person frustrated with their vehicle, it's not that much of a frustration. Just because something nice happened, coming from a total stranger. And that's the best part. They're not obligated to being nice. They don't owe you anything. So it was just a choice. Isn't that an awesome thing? You just choose to be nice. You just choose to make someone's day a little bit better. What more could one ask for?
This world was created by you and I, two beautiful people who came together.
Getting into musical therapy.
I ready figure start a family.
This is Jadon. The track is called Family Man.
And all it takes is you and me. Have no fear. The Congo man will always be here. Even though the night get dark, in the morning the sunshine will be here. Your skin clean, no crappy. I'll give you something for me to carry. Belly get bigger, marky. Now listen them, I saw them love talky. Say me I go burn you. I read that daughter son you. Me call her Empress. She call like Congo Bongo.
Hey Marsha.
Ready figure start a family. And all it takes is you and me.
How you feeling now? A little better?
Have no fear. The Congo man will always be here. Even though the night get dark, in the morning the sunshine will be here. look ya. Hey, yes, it's a boy Jordan Congo Bongo himself. And I represent for Kevin Stew on the night shift. City and Kamola vibes. Yes, I. This world was created by you and I, two beautiful people who came together and created one. I ready figure start a family, and all it takes is you and me. Have no fear, the Congo man will always be here. Even though the night get dark, in the morning the sunshine will be here. Your skin clean, no crappy. I'll give you something for me to carry. Belly get bigger, marky. Now listen to them, I saw them love talky. Say me I go burn you. I read that daughter son yo. Me call her Empress. She call like Congo Bongo. Start a family, and all it takes is you and me. Have no fear, the Congo man will always be here. Even though the night get dark, in the morning the sunshine will be here. Just see and know, family, so look and know. She a push, I see the baby head, me wish you coulda look. But no say it hurt, but we a gonna need a bigger push. She make me so happy, proud is daddy. Feel better than winning any Grammy. Call mommy, tell her she turn a galley. I ready for go start a family.
This is music from G. Cole.
Know how it is I'm supposed to carry on.
The track is called Smile Again. Hey cuz, how you doing?
I stare at your picture, play your favorite song, but I gotta stop.
I know you're kinda warm down there in Jamaica right now.
Trying to find the comfort that they all say that I find. Swear that it keeps eluding me, and I'm about to lose my mind. Lose my mind. Oh, what I wouldn't do to see you smile again. Oh baby, oh yeah. What I wouldn't do to hear your voice again. Oh, I love you, oh yeah. What I wouldn't do to hold your hand again. And I miss you, oh. What I wouldn't do to see you dance again. Oh Lord, and Tyrone.
mama, and I'm about to lose my mind. Lose my mind. Oh, what I wouldn't do to see you smile again. Oh baby, oh yeah. What I wouldn't do to hear your voice again. Oh, I love you, yeah. What I wouldn't do to hold your hand again. And I miss you. Oh, what I wouldn't do to see you dance again. I don't know. Oh yeah. I don't know. What I wouldn't do to see you smile again. Oh baby, oh yeah. What I wouldn't do to hear your voice again. Oh, I love you, yeah. What I wouldn't do to hold your hand again. And I miss you, oh, what I wouldn't do to see you dance again. This is your night. The feeling is oh so right. I made up my mind. Emotions are running wild.
This is new music from Suzanne Sultry.
You are here.
It's called No Ease Up.
To give all of me to you. 'Cause I am ready. I'm gonna hold you, baby, like you want me to. Let you do what you wanna do. Give you what you've been thinking of. Real good stuff, no ease up. Hold you, baby, like you want me to. Let you do what you wanna do. Give you what you've been thinking of. The real good stuff, no ease up. No other man ever made me feel like this. Like a wave about to overflow. The way you touch me and your tender kiss. You've always been knocking, but I never let you in. You tried many times before, but tonight you will win. I'm gonna hold you, baby, like you want me to. Let you do what you wanna do. Give you what you've been thinking of. The real good stuff, no ease up. Hold you, baby, like you want me to. Let you do what you wanna do. Give you what you've been thinking of. The real good stuff, no ease up. This is your night. The mood is oh so right. For some real good loving. Been a long time coming. You've always been knocking, but I refuse to open the door. You tried many times before, but tonight you will score. Wanna hold you, baby, like you want me to. Hold me, baby, what you wanna do. Do me, give you what you've been thinking of. The real good stuff, no ease up. Hold you, baby, like you want me to. Let you do what you wanna do. Give you what you've been thinking of. The real good stuff, no ease up.
It's been a long time since you touched me and made me feel that wonderful glow. The way you do. It's been a long time since you held me and squeezed me, so I wonder what's gone over you. I don't know if I'd have bring it up. Seems like it's a funny thing to talk about. I don't know if it's right to do. Nowhere to turn to. Up against the wall. And I wanna know, is it still good to you?
This is Joanna Marie working out with Ed Robinson. The rendition of Is It Still Good to You?
Is it still good to you?
Is it?
Can you prove it tonight? Tell me, baby.
This is Joanna Marie, and it's all about DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift. You feel for some stew? Check out Kevin Stew.
I just wanna know, baby. I just wanna know, baby. Just because touch me and make me feel that wonderful glow the way you do. It's been a long time since you held me and squeezed me, so I wonder what's come over you. I don't know if I'd bring it up. Seems like it's a funny thing to talk about. I don't know if it's right to do. Nowhere to turn to. Up against the wall, and I wanna know, is it still good to you? Does it feel alright? Oh baby, is it still good to you? Can you prove it tonight? Tell me, baby.
Whoa, it's been a long time since you asked me how was my day, and kissed me before I could say. It's been a long time since you told me if things could change, you wouldn't have known all the way. I don't know if I'll bring it up. It seems like such a funny thing to talk about. I don't know if it's right to do, but I don't wanna bug you. And who I'm up against the wall.
And I wanna know. You need to tell without straight, you know, baby. I wanna know.
No need to hesitate.
I wanna know. Is it still good to you? If it still feels good. Is it still alright? Yeah.
Someone said to me recently,
Is it still good?
they'd love to see Joanna and Ed on our concert stage together.
You got to tell me, baby. Is it going right now?
I just want them to perform this song live.
Is it still good to you?
One of their 3 duets that they have. This is music from Kovan. It's called You Make Me Right.
You are the melody to my song, my favorite chord on my guitar. You're my warmth on a cold night. This song is my appreciation for your love. 'Cause maybe I don't say it enough, but woman, you make me strong. You light up my life. Your voice is my song. You make me right. You make me right. Oh, you give me every day. No question asked. You make me right. I wanna thank you every day. You never remain. The rocky road with you's fine. Girl, I'm well because I know you're mine. Give me your smile is everything. Baby, you're the beat that makes my heart. You make my heart sing. 'Cause maybe I don't say it enough, but woman, you make me strong. You light up my life, and your voice is my song. And maybe I don't show it enough, but you taught me love, you showed me love. Ooh, you make me right. You make me right. Oh, you give me every day the questions I
I do know you love it, cuz.
You make me run. From what you give me every day, the precious life. You make me run. I wanna thank you each and every day.
From Unique, a rendition of Cherish the Day. From Marjorie K. One day I'll fly away.
I'll
when the rain is falling on the outside, and I have you beside me. Good gosh, yeah. Feels so good when you put your wings around me, 'cause you're an angel in disguise. Yes.
And it really does feel good when I'm with you.
The only prescription is you.
Zone of Neri in the background.
Prescribe sweet love
A track called The Love Song.
'Cause when we make love, it feels like
I want everybody to have that heavenly experience on their daily interactions.
when we make
Just being mindful about interacting with others and just being nice. This is where we close out. And where I get out of here. And I thank you all for hanging out. Thank you for the messages. Thank you for sharing. As we part company, I want to remind you to look out for members of your community. Remember, your community is not just the development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. Those that you pass on the bus, the plane, the boat, or the train, whether you walk, ride, or drive, these are members of your community. Look out for one of them today, because you never know who's going to look out for you tomorrow.
Take care for me.
My name is Kevin Stewart, so I like to do it to you, for you, and with you. Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here, kevinstew.com. Thank you to the affiliates also. Much love. NIE Radio and Harmony Radio. Foundation Radio Network, LinkedIn.com.
And it feels so good, so
Reggae Pulse Radio.
you take the troubles,
Island Worldwide.
you take my
Thank you all.
pain. With you I feel like I can move.
Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world. From right here in South Florida, I bid you all a good night. Be good.
It feels
If you can't be good at it. Catch you all on Saturday, all being well. Reggae Global Radio, 10 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, 8 p.m. Eastern. For the Saturday Stew.
oh yeah.
Take care of you.
Wearing that
I'm out of here. Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.